Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a hidden battlefield, a place where the 21st century's most important competition is being fought. And it's not with armies, but with something way more fundamental to our world.
So where is this battle happening? Well, forget everything you think you know about traditional warfare. The real contest for global dominance, it's not happening on some dusty battlefield or high in the sky.
The real competition is for control over the world's ports. That's right, ports. They're the critical doorways between continents and oceans, and they control the flow of, well, pretty much everything: trade, resources, and even military power.
To really get why ports have become this giant geopolitical chessboard, we need to jump back in time and look at three classic thinkers who completely rewrote the rulebook on global power. First up, you've got a guy named Halford Mackinder. He was all about land power. His Heartland theory basically argued that whoever controlled the huge, resource-rich interior of Eurasia would hold the keys to the entire world.
But then, Admiral Alfred Thayer Mahan came along and said, not so fast. He saw things totally differently. For him, real, lasting power came from the sea, from controlling the world's shipping lanes, its strategic choke points, and having the naval bases you need to project force across the oceans.
And then came Nicholas Spikeman, who kind of looked at both of these ideas and connected the dots. He argued that the most important zone wasn't the heartland or the open sea, but what he called the rimland, those coastal areas where land power and sea power collide.
Spikeman's big insight was that the coast, and specifically its ports, is the ultimate nexus. It's the point where everything comes together: commerce, logistics, and naval might. You control the ports, and you control the connection between the two great spheres of power. It's that simple.
Okay, so let's take those theories and bring them into the modern world. We can actually measure a nation's port power using 7 key metrics. Think of it as a geopolitical scorecard pitting the United States against China. First up, let's just look at the sheer volume of trade. And wow, the dominance here is just staggering. An absolutely incredible 7 of the world's top 10 busiest container ports are in China. That gives Beijing a solid iron grip on the flow of global commerce.
Okay, next, let's look at the companies that actually run these ports. Now, while Chinese firms control 3 of the top 10, here's the crucial difference. They are state-owned, and that transforms what look like commercial companies into powerful instruments of national strategy. And right here, you can see that strategy in action. Through its massive Belt and Road Initiative, China is building a global network of ports. You could call it port diplomacy, and it's securing strategic footholds from the Indian Ocean all the way to the heart of Europe. But you know, this story isn't entirely one-sided. When we look at global cities that are also major ports, the U.S. has a distinct advantage. With New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago in the top 10, America has these powerful economic and cultural hubs that are plugged right into the global maritime network. But when we get to network connectivity, which is just a measure of how well a country's ports are integrated into global shipping routes, China is right back on top. Its port of Shanghai, all by itself, is a global nexus, connecting to 288 different locations worldwide. Think about that. So this all leads to a really crucial question. How central are ports to a nation's grand strategy? Are they just economic tools, or are they part of a bigger geopolitical vision? Well, for both the US and China, they are absolutely central, but their approaches are polar opposites. And finally, let's talk military power. The US Navy is a true blue water force, right? It's designed for global operations, and it's supported by a formal network of powerful naval bases all over the world. China, on the other hand, is pursuing this more ambiguous dual-use strategy, where its commercial ports can be repurposed to support military operations. So, what does our scorecard tell us?
Well, it shows 2 fundamentally different playbooks for projecting global influence through ports.
The American model, it's explicit, it's formal. It's built on clear military alliances and established naval bases, a classic projection of hard power. China's model, on the other hand, is commercial and ambiguous. It uses business partnerships and investments to build a network that looks peaceful on the surface but has undeniable strategic potential.
This intense competition between 2 very different models of power, it raises a critical question. What does this all mean for the future of our world?
So, to put it simply, China has masterfully executed a strategy to become the world's undisputed commercial port superpower. It absolutely dominates the global flow of goods. Meanwhile, the United States holds on to its overwhelming military supremacy at sea, backed by a port infrastructure that was built for projecting force over decades.
And this sets the stage for the great strategic experiment of the 21st century. In a world that is defined by global trade, which form of power is ultimately going to win out? Is it the quiet, pervasive control of commerce, or is it the explicit, undeniable presence of military might? The future, right now, is being written port by port.